So, Cam, we just got back from the movie theater. We got our first taste of Deep Space Nine, What We Left Behind on the big screen. We've seen it before on streaming as we were the Indiegogo contributors.
Yeah.
One of the things that we walked away from just talking about, wondering about, though, was the Deep Space Nine Season 8 Writer's Room sequence, in which we got to see a hypothetical Season 8, the storyline broken by a lot of the big-time writers from that.
Yeah.
How does this work for you on a level? We also have, like, kind of animations being featured in here, a lot of discussions and debates about what the characters would be doing, where the storylines would be going. Was it cool to see Deep Space Nine back in the saddle again?
I feel like I was maybe the most pessimistic towards this element of the documentary going in. I just didn't really know what to expect. And I know a lot of fans that was the reason they wanted to see it. I think you were among them. Like, that was a big feature for you, right? Whereas, like me, I was very uncertain as to how this was going to play. I was worried it was going to be just like a checklist of, like, this is what this character's doing. And I'm like, okay.
Like exposition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think it worked really well in the film because, first off, they're telling a complete story. You know, over these chunks, which probably amount to what, maybe 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say that's about that.
Yeah,
about right.
Yeah, we really get to see the evolution of a story, but also we have a takeaway when it's over of, like, that felt like an episode of Deep Space Nine. An overview, yes, but an episode.
But it also makes us kind of pine for more. They leave us on a cliffhanger, and there's this moment where Kira steps into kind of the crossfire that's going on aboard the promenade. Yeah. There's always action on the promenade, right?
Of course.
But she steps in with her friends, and there's that moment there that I realized, this feels exactly like an episode of Deep Space Nine. All the characters we've been following, well, they've been doing their character actions as I would expect from the series. Like, it felt as if the writers were able to tap into exactly what made us fall in love with the show, which I think for most people, it's really the characters more than the storylines, even though we got some amazing, say, Dominion War storylines or Klingon War storylines.
Yeah.
But for me, I think this is something that makes me really beg them to consider doing, like, some sort of conclusion to this that story that we got the first hints of. Like, I want to know why Bashir is running Section 31, for instance. I want to know what, Garrick is doing as somebody who's kind of tattling on Kira for getting the Jem'Hadar to worship the prophets,
Garrick is a guy who, if there's a shadow, he'll be there.
Yes. We're disappointed at all that we haven't been able to touch on Odo quite yet. As they revealed, they wanted to save Odo for a little later on in the season. Not that they had an idea for him, but they're like, you know what? We don't have to put all our eggs in one basket right out of the gate.
Right. I mean, it definitely was totally fine with me. I don't know that Odo's story of coming back is that interesting. I mean, I imagine he's been the Great Link all this time. Whereas, like, I feel like some of the other ones you had a little more interesting elements, like with Worf, the transition of power between him to Martok. Stuff like that was really interesting to hear about. I don't know that Odo has that. It's more interesting to me of how he comes back.
I'll tell you how he has that, though. Let's think about it. He is a god as one of the founders. So if you have the Jem'Hadar converting to another religion, I think that you could have the founders dispatching Odo to try to deal with this situation. That's where I would hope that they would, like, kind of take his particular storyline and just what that would give him to do as a character, working with, say, Vedic Kira at this point. There's a lot of room for discussions about spirituality and religion that Deep Space Nine was so well known for.
This really does feel, the way they pitch it, though, is like, this is a Kira story kind of going forward. Like, the previous DS9 really felt like the Cisco kind of run show.
Okay.
Whereas, at least off the first episode, it really does feel like it's Kira's story now.
Yeah.
Because it's so enmeshed within the DNA of what the station has become since.
That said, we do get a glimpse of one Ben Sisko. He makes his return. Yeah. We don't know necessarily what it means, but I think...
What does it mean, Tyler? I need to know.
But you know what? I think it made us excited knowing that, hey, Ben is back. He's there with his son, one Joseph Yates Sisko, and his son Jake Sisko. I think that there's a lot of potential for us to tap into the Sisko.